We got some updates, baby. We're going to talk injury reports and all of that here on the Sooner or Later Sports Show. Thank y'all for pulling up. That's Coop. I'm your host, Jay. Thanks for pulling up here on the YouTube channel and listening wherever podcasts are downloaded and listened to while you're here. Please wipe your feet, like, subscribe, rate, review. Give us 5 stars. You don't think we deserve it? Give us 5 anyway. And gift it. So on today's episode of the Sooner or Later Sports Show, me and Coop's going to dive into a whole bunch of stuff. We're going to dive into the latest injury report that came down and what that means heading into the Auburn game. We had a decommitment. It's our second in 10 days, and talk about a little bit of what we've heard rumbling. And then we'll wrap things up with some keys to the game as we prepare for the Auburn game. I know all of y'all are stressed out, but I promise you things will be all right. Coop, happy Thursday, man. How you doing?
I'm not on the injured report. I'm not out for next week. I'm not out for this week. No, man, it's good. Like I've got, we get a chance. I mean, I guess football with no receivers that have any experience for 10 years better than no football or watching the XFL or whatever that league is now. So I mean, we've got a lot of intrigue. It's what we're going in week 5, and we're still all wondering what is this team. And so that's going to be an exciting deal. Everybody's got the opportunity to prove what they want to do. You're highly recruited, and so we get to see more this weekend.
Yeah, I know. So we've got another set of updates around the injury report, and of course, we all felt pain. I see y'all here in the chat. Thank y'all for pulling up. Welcome. As Coop has said, our pets' heads are falling off. It is, one of them days. But I'm thank y'all for joining us here on this Thursday night. Yeah, we switched things up. I'm back in town, finally back at home, as you can see, back in my own mi casa. I'm exhausted. I got no sleep. Don't know if y'all saw, I was on WCOV out of Montgomery talking Sooners and Auburn at like 6 o'clock in the morning. So it was like, 7 o'clock. So it was 4 o'clock where I was at. So it was early. It was early and I was tired. I'm tired. So I didn't get much sleep. But let's look at this, guys. Here's the latest injury report. Y'all are asking the question in the chat. We were getting to it, I promise. Here's the latest injury report. Oklahoma has placed it out there. We got 5 wide receivers out. 5 of them. Jane Gibson, of course. Farouk. Nick Anderson's now officially out. So is Andrew Anthony out. And Deion Burks is officially out. You also have lost Taylor Tatum. We've lost 2 of our really good corners in Gentry Williams and Kendall Doby. Gary Hatchett's out. Our kicker, Tyler Keltner, which is non-football related, he's out. Sam McCullough has moved up to questionable. So there may be a chance that he decides to go at it. And then Jake Taylor is also on the probable list. Coop, how you feeling about it?
This segment's brought to you by Outback. Outback is where you can get your take-out food. I mean, that's a starting lineup. That it is, and
hurts.
Gibson early in the season, in fall camp, Farouk after 1 drive, or I guess 2 drives. We still don't really quite know about Nick and Andrell. Obviously, they're not looking too good. Deion Burks, a little thigh bruise. And, we got a bye next week. So if there's more outs after the bye, I'm going to turn to Thunder basketball and catch you guys next year. Keltner, appendicitis. So, Hatchett, it is. Like, we've had so many. It's funny that how like some teams can go an entire year with no injury issues at all, but I just can't remember ever seeing anything like this because, they need some. What is it in My Big Fat Greek Wedding where they spray Windex on everybody?
Yeah,
you need to try Windex, Voodoo. Yeah, Windex, Voodoo, Tussin, every single bit that you can, try to do. If you guys have home remedies that email the staff. But yeah, at this point, it's just comical. Like even fans of somebody else are, looking at this going, wow. But at least none of them are opting out mid-year to transfer. So, I guess that's good news.
Yeah. Gosh. It's pain. But I'll say this. If there's anything... Well, I'm not sure if I can find a bright side, but I'm going to find one here.
You got a bye week next week?
We got a bye week next week. So our goal is to get to the bye week, and then Michael Hawkins gets to throw the ball to all the wide receivers that he typically practices with. Yeah. The question is will they be able to get super tough out there and handle the defense that Auburn's going to do? I was listening to the Oklahoma Breakdown, and Gabe was pointing out that Auburn holds a lot in the secondary.
Yeah.
Like they're very physical with it. Like, so they're going to reach underneath, they're going to grab, they're going to do a lot of stuff that you wouldn't typically see. And you have to fight through it. And if you can fight through it, you'll be fine. That's going to be the bigger one for them. And so because of that, we will be sitting here hoping that these young guys are ready for it. So I'm expecting a good dose of, I ain't going to want to hear this, but J.J. Hester, you're going to see some Ivan Carry-On. You're going to need him. You're going to need some Zion Kearney, some Jaquez Petaway. Brendan Thompson's going to have to find some spots out there, right? You're going to even see Zion Rage. And so you've got 6 wide receivers you're definitely going to see. I went through the list. Yeah, you're going to see a lot of just the young guys. Something that I did not think was going to happen, but here we are. At least you got 3 guys that are sizey in Hester, Zion Kearney, who's 6'1", 200, and then Carry On. We just going to have to get them out there. Unfortunately, it is what it is, right? It happens. And I get people pointing out the medical staff, but the crazy thing is that it's only offensive dudes that's been gone down, right? Like Nick's issue's been since last season. Jaden was a non-contact. Andrell's coming off surgery. We saw Deion Burks get hurt. That knee, he got hit in the knee. In the thigh. And Farouk, he had a foot problem last year. Unfortunate. Everything piled on us at once. It sucks. But defensively, we've been great. Only ones you really is Gentry, who had shoulder surgery, and that's what's bothering him. And then you got Kendall Doby, who...
he just got rolled.
That was a bad ankle. That was a bad ankle roll, dog. That was awful. That was a bad one. Ooh, that was nasty. Nasty work.
And I got to say, for everybody who's reached out to Kendall Dolby, you saw his tweet. I talked to him shortly yesterday, I believe, and he sees it all. And it's so if you think that you're just reaching out and sending love to the players after something like that, man, it's just it really does help. So
right.
So shout out to the fans.
Yeah, shout out to the fans for y'all for doing that. Let me add this too. I forgot. Jacoby Johnson has moved to wide receiver. He's 6'2".
Yes.
6'2", 200 pounds. So you got 6'2" Jacoby Johnson. You got 6'1" Zion Kearney, who's the freshman. Ivan Carry-On at 6'6". JJ 6'6", 230. JJ Hester at 6'4", 200. So yeah, we've got some mixtures of size. The big thing is going to be execution. I'm just waiting to see what that actually looks like. So I'm not going to even pretend like I'm not, I ain't got questions or concerns. It's a lot of injuries, right? But I'll say this, Coop. There is a little bit of light on this tunnel. You ready for this?
I like light.
There are 2 people on this list that ain't there no more. Well, 2 people that was on this list last week but ain't on this list no more. Troy Everett, Branson Hickman. That puts a smile on my face. So You're saying there's a chance Looks like the offensive line is starting to get back healthy. Jake Taylor, he's a probable. I don't expect him to see a lot of snaps, but if he gets a little bit of run, or even next week, get through the bye week and is ready for the week after, oh my goodness.
And
that makes me feel better.
That's a big one. And again, to kind of just talk about the medical staff, like, there's something in the recovery piece. Like, there's just too many of these guys that have been out, and I don't know. We heard the rumblings of Nick Anderson, in camp. Andrell, we know that he had a little bit of a setback. I don't know if he should have shown out at all on week 1 or just rested. But, obviously, like, everybody's frustrated about all these injuries because we've never seen anything like this. And, there are a lot of rumblings that this was the same thing that was going on with the last time Schmitty was here. And, I'm not going to, because you take Gentry Williams and Andrell Anthony, that was a last year situation, so we're pulling them over. There's a couple guys, I don't think strength and conditioning had anything to do with Kendall Dolby's dislocated ankle and broken ankle. So it's just not. Everybody wants to find a reason to be frustrated about this, and I think it's just crappy luck, to be honest with you. And I got to trust that the staff is going to take a look at what they're doing and see how they can get better. And I do want to see something change, because you can't see this go over and over and over. So. Mostly we're pretty healthy last year, outside of, one or two guys, and, the shoulder for Gentry has been something for a long time. So
let's put it this way. Our defense is playing faster and more physical than it did last year.
Yeah.
Why aren't we seeing this on defense a lot? Right. Knock on wood. I'd say with the recovery, there's probably something going on. We got to do better there. But overall, just in general, we just got lucky, man. We got bad luck on this one, right? Got bad luck, some bad juju. We need to get over this. But again, the one thing that I'm happy to see is we get 2 more offensive linemen back and possibly a third. That line can get back healthy. I would be a lot happier.
Well, regardless, Jay, is you can run out the same offensive line 2 weeks in a row for the first time this year. You do have, legitimate backups available now. With Everett being back, you've got, a little bit better opportunity at the center position, and you can have him at a guard. He's gained some good strength and weight, and that's a good piece. And then if you have if Jake Taylor continues to just get a little bit stronger, with his health, I think that you rotate him in some time, and then again, you get out of this game with nobody else added to this list, and you get the bye week, and so we it's not the most favorable situation, especially when you're talking about this team being having one of the stronger wide receiver rooms in the country, and now you're on wide receiver 6 as your top receiver. So, but guess what? Brent Venables is going to say no excuses. We got to go out there and execute. We got to go out there and play the game. So you got to go out there and do that. And again, you got a big opportunity. So
yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, we've been begging for a healthy offensive line, and we're getting to that point now. Unfortunately, we didn't do the Sage thing to make sure that every
wide receivers,
every other position was good, but it'd be all right. I'm not super stressed. Like I said, the good thing is our focus is going to be defense. It's going to be it's going to be the defense. It's really going to have to win this game for us. And I'm hardcore on that. Health is important. It's all about being healthy. So as long as we're healthy, on the defensive side, I think we'll be fine. We'll cause a lot of turnovers or whatnot, and we'll do what we always do. But thank y'all for pulling up. Hit that like button. New to the channel, subscribe, rate, review, give us 5. Coop. We got Auburn tomorrow. I'm actually on Saturday. I'm actually flying out there tomorrow. Very excited to take out Jordan Hare or whatever they want to call it. Man, I went and looked at them. I went and watched them a little bit. Dog, they are woof. You know they had 14 turnovers so far this season?
14, and they've had 4 or more twice. And it's so bad with them from the quarterback's perspective. And again, like not taking shots at anybody because we got to prove it on our side. But they replaced a quarterback after he threw three interceptions, and then they had to bring him back and bring back the original starter. So these guys it's a boom or bust offense. If they, it doesn't look like if you make them execute over and over and over again, they're going to give it up. So, it looks like that's kind of what we're going to have to play to. And I'm excited because now they don't know which front we're going to try to run against them.
Nope.
We ran the 3-man front exclusively against Tennessee. And, you held an offense that, once again, was over 600 yards per game. You hold them to half of that. So this is going to need to be a complimentary football win for Oklahoma to go down there and to win, because you're going to need to create some turnovers, which they seem to be more than obliging. And if you can do that, that's where you get that opportunity.
Yeah, man, it's amazing just to see that we've been, this many guys down at once. I don't know. It's baffling to me, right? It's just baffling that this is all 2009 all over again, except for your Heisman Trophy quarterback didn't go down and your star tight end didn't follow with like majority of the offensive line, to the point of one of your top offensive linemen, Trent Williams, instead of playing the tackle position, plays center in a bowl game. That was a crazy year, but the defense was nails. So for us, if we can get a competent enough offense, I think the defense has a chance of doing something special. I'm ready to see if they can go out there and just put it in their chest, right? Let the defense really ball hawk. Because personally, in seeing this with the storm coming through, was it Hurricane Helena? She out there, I think she's a Category 4 now? Is that what I saw? Let's see. Is she Category 4 now?
I was talking to one of my staff members in Coral Gables, Florida today, and she flipped the computer around, and the palm trees were swaying. It looked pretty crazy.
Let me see. Tanya, thank you for the $5. We always appreciate you pulling up and joining us. Yeah, I know there's it's going to be a mud bowl with a Category 4, right? Everything in the coast is looking nasty, and I expect them to get a little bit of rain, get a lot of rain up, but it'll be done by what? By Friday afternoon, which, talking to some Auburn folks, they said they actually got a really solid draining system, so we should be good to go when it comes to game day. I don't know. But yeah, there you go, Cat 4. I was right. Cat 4 is what we're hearing about down there. I just need to go ahead and as long as it's done by tomorrow afternoon, I won't be too stressed out.
Yeah.
But man, Coop, that's just... Anything else you think? How you feel about our defense matching up with their offense?
It's going to be, like I said, with their offense, they don't have much patience. So when you depend on the explosive play exclusively, I think that they're top 10 in, explosive plays. But, again, 14 turnovers at this point to some, not great defensive teams. If this game has, if the weather is just, if it's a bowl game, if it's a game where you just can't see the players, all bets are off at that point. And then, I have no idea what's going to happen, but it is going to be it's going to be good on our defense because, again, we've got those opportunities to rotate the guys in and out. The defense is playing an absolute just elite level. And, now here's what I think is, this is Hugh Freeze, and Hugh Freeze is not the conventional coach, but with seeing what the defense is, I would think that the best and smartest way for them to play Oklahoma is to be extremely conservative on offense. Don't take the ball. Don't give the ball up. Don't turn this bad boy over. You're going to, take your shots and be calculative when you're going to do that, and then ask them to turn around and make the Oklahoma offense do something. It does not matter if Auburn is dog crap or if they are undefeated. I mean, the fans are going to show out. That they're going to be screaming on that defense, just kind of like how we were towards the end of the game when you thought there's no chance we're doing anything on offense. But they're going to do that. They're going to be screaming around. This is a good defensive team, and they're going to make Oklahoma prove on the defensive side of the ball. They're going to make our offense really, really prove that we can do something beyond 15 yards. And
yeah,
so
that's what I'm curious to see is what Michael Hawkins is going to be able to put together out there on offense. But back to the defensive side of things.
Sorry about that. Yeah,
no, you're fine. You're fine. I'm really, what intrigues me the most about this game? I was on the War Report with Ike, some of the guys I met at SEC Media Days, and we were doing a preview for this game. And the big question he had was, what is our defensive front's going to look like? And now that makes me really intrigued, right? And against Tennessee, we did the majority of the game in 3-3-5. I think most snaps was 3-3-5.
Yeah.
And we shifted occasionally to like a 4-2-5. But I know beginning of the season, we mainly ran a 4-2-5. I'm curious to which one we actually choose. And I say that because we know that Hugh Freeze offensively he does a lot of misdirection stuff. That's just kind of how his offense rolls. And show you one thing, run something another. I think Gabe mentioned it actually on the Oklahoma Breakdown. Like he'll run like a jet sweep with a GT counter and makes you think you're going one, and they'll pick one or the other to try to get your eyes. You try to trap your eyes. I'm really intrigued at which one we're going to run. To me, I think we run a four-man front. Feels like this is a game for a four-man front because I think, if anything, Auburn's going to want to try to run the ball as much as possible.
Yeah. It's if you're Hugh Freeze, do you believe that if one side of the one offense has to make a play, do you believe in yours versus what you've seen to this point from the Sooners? And so, that's what they're going to do. I mean, they're going to they got three tight ends that they rotate in and out. They're going to run a lot of counter, and it's going to be big eye discipline. And I think that's one of the big things that I'm excited about is number one is the linebackers. Just, I mean, top to bottom this year have been extremely disciplined, and when our guys are actually going in and pursuing, they're always staying gap sound. They're staying responsible in their lanes, and so you also you're going to have at least one of the two safeties nibbling up too, because I mean I think that we trust in the corners. I know that Kanai got at one point this against Tennessee, but you're going to trust that. I think Auburn, and there's a couple Auburn guys in here, so I mean, feel free to correct me. But one of their wide receivers got hurt early in the season. He's been kind of banged up. I think the freshman Coleman, he's been kind of nicked up too.
Yeah, he was nicked up. I did hear that.
Yeah, and so it's going to be, do the linebackers continue to just play, the gap sound defense, and do they pay attention to that? Because you have to. You can't get caught staring in the backfield and have something leak out the backside, because now you've got someone with momentum and everybody trying to change theirs to chase them down, and that's just not going to fly.
Exactly. You're going into the Auburn's offense. They're very bang or bust, really, in a lot of their plays. Right? They go for big plays, big splash plays. The running game is still strong. Jaquez Hunter is one to keep your eyes on. He's their top back, and he was one that was considered. A lot of people thought that he'd be the top running back in the conference. Like, he's really good. But
He
their
was
biggest issue.
leading returning rusher in the SEC.
Yeah, exactly. And the biggest problem with him is that they fumble the ball a lot too, right? They throw a lot of interceptions and they fumble. They turn the ball over. I mean, 14 turnovers in the first 4 games of the season is what they have. That's one big thing. But I expect them to do a lot of slowing the game down and taking their time. Now, I don't expect them to pull a Michigan and just try to run nonstop because we've got a pretty good run defense, right? That's something that we have that's actually really solid. They're going to have to try to get the ball deep. But the other thing is, how much pressure can we get on Thorne as well as Hank, depending on who they decide to play? How much pressure can we get? And so looking at their injury report here, they got 2 DBs out and a tight end. I don't think either of them starts. Let's look at their depth chart. They don't have any wide receivers on here, so everybody's probably back to where they were and just one offensive lineman. Let's look at the Auburn depth chart and compare.
And I guess if we have a tug of war game between the injured players on our team versus theirs, I think
we lose. We win. We win a tug of war, but I mean, problem is most of our injuries are leg related, so I think we'd still lose.
There we go.
They're probably gonna get us with that, but no. Keandre Lambert Smith, he's the one that came from, what was it, Penn State. He was a transfer Penn State senior. He's their top guy. I think he averages 28 yards a reception right now. So he's a big play guy. And then, of course, the freshman Cam Coleman, who's a monster, but ain't healthy.
He's an absolute stud.
Yeah.
And I think Hunter's up over 7 yards a carry. So, I mean, like he's another guy who's, he's a good back. Like I said, he is the leading rusher returning to the SEC, and so you gotta have that. So, Big Sam, how's it going, Mr. Willard? But I mean, yeah, it's on the defense side. You got to have, you have to play sound football. You continue to do that. That's going to be, the defense is going to continue rolling and doing what they've been doing. And so, yeah, I mean, I expect. I'm wondering who we're going to throw out at the corner position this week. I mean, it seems like Little Bowen is, causing the ruckus, and they're ready to maybe see what he's made of. Woody has, I said it in the offseason that, I thought maybe is there a world where Woody doesn't have a place on this team? And I think from a leadership standpoint, on the offense, I mean the defensive side, we've got plenty. So you're going to see him rotating in and out at times too, but. Do you maybe see a start by Eli Bowen? So I think that that's going to be intriguing because most of these guys playing definitely on the offensive side, they have never played in a situation like this. They've never been to a stadium like this ever. They played OU Texas. I think Gabe and Teddy said it too. Is play OU Texas, but half of them is for us. So. But on defense, these guys have all played in games like this before, and so I gotta think that we're going to see a lot of goodness from that defensive side. And again, you got to be opportunistic, and we got to be able to take advantage of it when we do create a turnover.
Yeah, we just got to make sure we take advantage of it. So, I'm secondary wise, I expect a lot of course, Kanai with Dez mixed in, probably some Eli into that, right? In preparation for anything deep, right? That's going to be the most interesting component. But, man, we'll see what it looks like. Thank y'all pulling up. Hit the like button. Wipe your feet. New to the channel. Subscribe, rate, review. Give us 5. Just flip it. Keys on our offense. Our very intriguing offense, Coop. Going up against their defense. Now, I know they picked up Philip Bleedy, one player that we were looking at in the portal. He had visited with. He's leading their DTs with their defense is actually decent. right? It's not bad. It's not great. I think it's good enough. It's kept them in these games, right? That's one reason why their scores are so close, right? Arkansas 24-14. That could have been worse. Arkansas was putting up all kinds of numbers on Oklahoma State. Still mad at Arkansas for screwing that up. Just, made me lose money. Just mad. It makes me mad. Hopefully Arkansas gets their lives together before, wow, they got a run of 1, 2, 3, 4. They got 3 straight ranked games at A&M with A&M this weekend, Tennessee bye week, and then LSU coming to their cribs. They got 3 straight homes, but they're all to ranked teams. Anyway, Arkansas, figure your lives out. Y'all messed up everything for me with that Oklahoma State loss. Like I said, I lost money. But they held Arkansas to 24. They held California to 21. I mean, I'm not sure if that's really doing much, but they were able to keep them from blowing up the score. And then New Mexico was they helped them to 19. I think we can expose the linebackers, a little bit of the secondary, if anything. But this is definitely going to be the Michael Hawkins game, right? He's going to have to be prepared for their attempts at putting pressure on him because he's going to be a freshman. They're going to give him all kinds of looks. The stadium's going to be loud. No matter how good or bad Auburn is, their fans show up and show out. So you've got to be prepared for that mentally, and simplifying the game should help a heck of a lot. Offense-wise, man. So let me ask you this: wide receiver, who do you want to see on the field going into this game as your starting 3 wide receivers?
I want to see the continuation with Petaway. So I think Petaway needs to be out there. This is a guy who's been, waiting for his spot, and now he's probably going to be the number 1. He was right behind Burks, and now with Burks not making the trip, you want to see that. I want to see. I'd like to see Hester to get out there and get him an opportunity early. Get him, because I think if you can get him engaged in the game, and I don't care if it's, I'm not talking about, slinging it off the side and, giving him a 2-yard catch. Let's get him on a slant. Let's get him on something. Get him out there because you're going to need that size. And then you're probably going to have to be running with, I'm guessing, Brennan Thompson over on the other side. And so you've got to have some size at that wide receiver spot, and we need these guys to block. So I mean, to be honest with you, Jay, it's the best guys who showed out and are blocking well and blocking consistently, because the wide receiver and tight end blocking has been catastrophic at points. And so, that's just my hopes. I do want to see Zion Kearney out there, with a little bit more size. Let's let Carry On, get out there. I mean, like we said earlier, this is a group of wide receivers that are now playing that, that Hawkins has been throwing to quite a bit. And so what kind of chemistry, has he, because again, we saw the most out of Petaway, at the end of the game, and we haven't seen that at the end of the other game, where he's been in. So, I'm thinking that's going to be good. I don't want to have to rely on Jacoby Johnson. I don't want to have to do that, but at the same time, I don't think that you take him away from, a number 2 spot on the defensive side and put him back over. When they did that with DJ Graham, he wasn't playing defense either. So, I mean, you just took a shot at it and see if you could possibly keep a body on the team. So I mean, that's what I'm thinking, but you do have to absolutely, do something, early and get these guys involved so that they stay involved the entire game. Yeah.
No, I agree. I want to see Kearney get some routes. I want to see, of course, Petaway. I think Petaway's like a given. I want to see Brennan on some goes. Go ahead and sling it. Let's get some deep routes going.
Yeah.
I want to see Carry On get a little bit of burn. Give me. Let's start with Petaway. Let's start with Kearney and Carry On. Give me the youth movement there. I still want to give JJ, and I don't think he's gotten the full-fledged fair shake. I mean, after game one. He's just been kind of been used occasionally here and there. I think he's been a decent blocker. I want to see more of him. And kind of go from there. I don't think that in the running game, with simplifying the play call, I think Barnes and Sawchuk will get going. And I think Franklin will as well. Honestly, the running back I do want to see, Hicks.
Oh, I thought you were going X.
Hicks. I want to see Hicks. I love to see X too, but I want to see Hicks. Give me Caleb Hicks. I want to see him on the field.
Yeah.
That's your 4. Run those 4. Preserve X's red shirt for next season. You can run him, right? Because especially because he's a battering ram. I mean, he's got enough speed. I mean, I think he told me he clocked a 4.5, and he's 220. Give me some Hicks though. I want to see Hicks prove everybody and say, see, this is why I should have been on the field. I want to see some Hicks.
That's going to be the whole motif of the offensive side this week is going to be, here is your opportunity. What are we going to do with it? And that doesn't just mean when you're toting the rock or when you're catching it. That means when you are blocking. That means if you need to be the decoy and you need to carry a route, to open up a space, like let's show the unselfishness, because again, if this offense goes out and actually shows something this week, I mean, I absolutely, a lot of these guys are going to get more run because, I mean, this is going to be what's the best chemistry on the field, because now at this point, the stars don't matter. The depth chart from week 1 doesn't matter. So now you have your chance. And so do you want to continue to see the field, or do you want to get replaced when somebody else gets healthy again, assuming that happens at some point?
Right. This is the perfect opportunity for them to get run and get a chance to prove themselves. This is it. This is that moment, right? So we'll see out there. Good thing offensive line-wise, again, you got Sexton. You're probably going to play Troy Everett at the guard with Hickman as your center, Waywu right guard, Tarkin at right tackle. At least that's the way it looks today. I don't think they've actually dropped a depth chart yet, have they?
No, but so one of the things I got was Tarquin, Sexton, Hickman, Waywu, Taylor to start out the game. And
I don't see Taylor playing. Sorry, I don't.
Well, that's
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think that did he play at all this past week?
No.
He was warming up.
0 snaps.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, that's Taylor, won the job in fall camp, and so if he's healthy and he wants to get out there, we'll see in warmups. I mean, that we'll know that pretty quickly in warmups. And if you heard Gabe talking about Everett, Troy Everett was he said that I want Troy Everett on the field, and that's a guy who he really just took on. But I mean, and Jimmy, I'm with you, man. At this point, like, I think everybody's job is up for grabs, and if you continue to absolutely make just boneheaded blunders, like, I would rather guys, take a delay a game because they were communicating too long than basically not be on the same page and take a 5-yard loss or a safety or something like that. So I want to see, you're going to be in a loud freaking stadium. There's zero chance that you're going to be able to sit around and have a little tea and crumpet and discuss, blocking assignments. So these guys are going to have to be on it. So
no, I totally agree with you there. And that's the most important thing for them is they're going to have to talk a lot in this game. Like, communicate and know your get quote unquote gap sound, know where you're supposed to be, and they're going to have to focus in. As long as they focus in, I think things will be fine. But that's also where the fear comes in. It's the how focused will they be? And yeah. How much communicating will they do? Especially, like you said, it's going to be loud. And Gabe said, like, look, there's no secrets in this game. Screw secrets, throw them out the window. Talk.
Yeah. I mean, hey, listen, if I don't care if you point out everything and the damn defensive line knows exactly your blocking scheme.
Yeah.
If you all are on the same page, now it's either get beat or beat them. But if you got guys running around trying to find a blocker because they missed theirs, like that how did that secret help you out at that point? And that extends to the tight ends too. Like, this may be one of the worst, 2-year spans I've ever seen from a tight end position at a major university when it comes to blocking. Like, this is awful. And at some point, somebody's going to have to go. I just get, like Gabe said, just get in the damn way. Just get somebody's way. I don't even care what happens. I mean, whatever you need to do, just get in the way. But if you're, it's been so bad. So he believes that we might see a little bit more Cade McIntyre because he's a little bit more physical. So hopefully, I think that's hopium right there. But
not even that. I'm trying to figure out exactly how he gets on the field.
I mean, it's
why though, right? I know this is probably it's the most weird part of all of the scenario that we're in right now. Cade McIntyre wears the number 19. So does Jacoby Johnson.
I mean, they can switch a number up before the game. So.
I say, he had to switch his number to a tight end number like in the 80s. But my point is, like, how that gonna work? He would have to. They'd have to change his number to 80 something so that Jacoby can play if they want. Not even Jacoby playing both sides, just playing in general because they both wear 19. Which is fascinating in itself.
Change him to 91.
Yeah, go for it. Oh, wait, I think. Do we have a 91 on the defensive line? We have a 91 on the defensive line, but hey, we can do that. Go for it. Boom. 91 tight end.
Or 88. Boomer 129 says 88. Let's see an 88 at wide receiver.
Oh, no. Dude, no. Don't do that to yourself.
I was trying to think because
Jacob Jordan is 88 actually, but that still won't work.
There you go. Anyway, but no, the tight ends you got to see a little bit more. I mean, either you go away from the. Here's the thing: is I think that it sounds like less RPO, and I mean, I thought that's what was going to be the play going into the year. You can comment on that, Jay, if you want to or not, but I'm hoping that we see the offense that we want to run. And I think Latrell gets a chance to do a little bit more of his game. And I mean, I don't want to get too deep into that, but this whole zone slice concept where we bring the tight end back across and Jackson was, calling for the ball early or the tight end was a snap late. And he either was late or too early, so the tight end was never in rhythm going to the block. So it's either he has to stop and cut back to a guy who is, just going crazy coming upfield, or he has to, he's not going to get there in time. So, I mean, I think that's going to help out for the offensive line too. Is just, I would hope that if you call more, at this play, what is it from Varsity Blues? We're handing the ball to Wendell. Like, if you does anybody got a problem with that? Like, just turn and hand it off and then just drive off the ball.
And that's it.
I'm
looking for Wendell. I was going to see if somebody had any problems with Wendell getting the ball.
Okay, there we go.
No, everybody confirmed. They're good with it. Get the ball to Wendell.
Here, yeah. So, so, I mean, that's because right now, I mean, I think that you have an absolute great opportunity right here. I think that this is a rally that the offense can get together and come together. And it looks like Michael Hawkins has so much more, on the field passion. And, sometimes, I'm not going to say that you have to have passion to play the spot. I mean, I thought Kyler Murray looked like he was asleep half the time he was playing.
Yeah, it's true.
But especially coming right after Baker. But that's just one of the things I want to see is with Hawkins is with that passion and that just go get it. Like I'm excited to see him getting out there and going crazy because it's. I think people will play a little bit harder if they see that. And, you're going to need everybody. I think I said in the call your shot for Gabe and Teddy, it's everybody do your job with excellence. Like that's
it.
That is the call.
Yeah, just do your job. Like everybody saying in the comment section is just do your job.
Yeah.
That's it. And I get that, right? I mean, we're still going to have fun here, right? I mean, hell, life's too short for us to be stressed out over a bunch of, teenagers and early 20-year-olds playing a game that we all love. But we're going to have some fun to go along with it. But if anything, just do your job.
Yeah.
You know who you're supposed to go block. Go get that dude. Get your hands underneath there and muscle him, right? Good thing we got some wrestlers coming in the next class. So I'm excited about that. All right, Coop. Last part we're going to talk. They got pulling up. Hit the like button. New to the channel, subscribe. Raiders review. Give us 5 stars. Let's talk recruiting. We haven't done this in a while, man. It's been a bit. Recruiting has been quiet, right? I saw an article about Andrew Babalola as he's still trying to narrow down his last set of teams. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I am surprised this is still going on. Shocking the mess out of me. Why is he still pondering? I figured by now he'd been done. But it appears that's not going to happen. No?
I mean, as of right now, I mean, you can show him opportunity. That's one thing that maybe wasn't there from the get-go. Now, listen, I'm just telling everybody on this chat, if you run, I don't care if it is 3 5-star guys, if you run 3 5-star guys out on your offensive line next year, there will be growing pains. There will be quite a bit of growing pains. But I think, I mean, it's still in play, and he's still not gone. I think that, at one point, he was down to Auburn, Michigan, and Oklahoma, and all 3 of those programs have yet to show much to get super excited about, to pull away from one or the other. And so, he's still there. And again, you still have Sean Hutton, you still have Fasusi. You still have Foj. Those guys are talking all the time. We've got people who talk with them all the time, and it's going to be that they want him. And the British offensive lineman Akinkunmi, that's the last piece of his tour success. He showed around Foj, Afalava, and Fasusi and Babalola, and that's the only piece that he doesn't have on his mantle. Now, that may mean that he doesn't get to play, but at the same time, I mean, he is he's still, it's still on the table. And again, if you pull in him, that's a huge get.
Oh yeah, adding him to the class would be massive. We saw not 1 but 2 decommits in the last 2 weeks. Yeah, 10 days.
Yeah.
With Kamori Moore from Lee Summit High, and then you got Floyd Boucard, who it looks like he's being CB'd to USC, which is intriguing. I'm wondering if that is because a certain somebody, Bear Alexander's no longer there.
Yeah, I mean, Kamori Moore, this is one that doesn't really surprise me, but it as more and more stuff is coming out, it sounds like it might be an eligibility issue. So you can't show up to any campus with the number that I heard. So I wish Kamori, I wish Kamori a lot of wellness going forward, and but at the same time, I just had an itching feeling that maybe he wasn't going to actually end up here. Now we'll see, if he does get a chance to, go join a lot of his friends up in Nebraska, that also makes sense too. But from what I understand is that it's more of a grades issue.
So I saw on the message board, Genius, of course, had to post this, right? And looks like rumor has it that all of the these Summit North kids want to go play together, including one that's currently
Missouri.
At his home school, Missouri.
Not playing.
That would be bananas
there.
If he left.
I mean, the dude doesn't have a motor. And so, I mean, listen, if Matt Rule wants to, think that he can change the crazy, then, that's on him. And maybe he can ignite something in there. But, yeah, I just I mean, it's crazy. I mean, now with Mosey up there, his son, he left Oregon and came back that way. And so, yeah, I'm pretty sure that, Komori, this staff has appreciated him. I've appreciated, he's rallied around this class. And, it sucks. But like I said, it's he was going to be a guy who needed to be on campus for a few years before he can contribute. And so now you get a chance to maybe circle back with some other guys. I've heard some interesting names, some people with connections to other, recruits, and then some other guys. But I think with such a young defensive line, I mean, you're going to lose probably Dominic Williams, DJ Terry, but you're going to need to have some veteran presence. So maybe it's a portal, and maybe they just kind of leave the defensive line as it is right now.
Yeah, I would totally hit the portal heavy. Bring in some additional vets. I mean, we've got a lot of our guys probably going to end up coming back next year anyway, as I think about it, right? I mean, the only person you really will lose is Terry. He's the only one that has no more eligibility. Dominic, if he decides he wants to come back, can.
Yeah.
You've got, of course, Jaden Jackson, David Stone, Nigel, on your 0 and 3 tees. You still got G-Baby as well as Mark Strong, which G-Baby's been doing really good this season, by the way. I actually was just now looking at his PFF numbers just now between looking to see if Everett played. And Grayson is carving out himself a spot to especially being able to rotate. We played 26 people against Tennessee on defense, 27 people on defense. I'd say 21 of them played at least 10 snaps.
Yeah, it's
pretty good.
You've got, the defense is doing great. I mean, when Dominic Williams chose, proven production with Todd Bates, and he came here, I don't see him making anything. I don't see a world where he comes back next year with the tear that he's on right now. And so, he had a goal, come put some big time, tape out there against SEC competition. He has continued to do that. There's a lot of that so far, and he's in a star-studded, surroundings around himself. And so everybody's getting some notice. So, but yeah, I mean, you're going to have to probably hit the portal unless you can have somebody who is, somebody's out there and, maybe doesn't, maybe committed to like a Florida State or, a Florida or something like that you can go dig in. That's probably going to be it. But again, I think that having a big leadership contributor, in the portal might be where they go to replace Komori.
Yeah. We got a few. Yeah, we got. There's a few targets to potentially go after in the portal. Defensively, I'm wondering if we decide to go ahead and snag up another player for the class. That's kind of what I'm curious about.
there's going to be, I mean, there's efforts going on. I mean, they got nothing else to do at this point. You have the conversations with the guys that's already on board. Those guys are excited. This is a really, really tight. PG, what's going on, buddy?
What up, PG?
It's a tight group. As long as he doesn't say any specific A&M defensive tackles, he can stay in the chat. So just FYI. But yeah, so that's where you're going to go. But yeah, and then you lose, Floyd Bicard also. And, that's another one to where when it happened, I was like, well, there it is. It's not like a lot of us thought that that thing was dead solid. It kind of felt out of the middle of nowhere. So, we were excited when it happened. Man, I just, USC needs some D linemen. Michigan went right through them pretty well, and you saw Michigan not do the same thing against Texas.
Right.
So, they stuck to the run. They didn't even try passing the ball. They just decided, let's just run through it. And so now I also know, just go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it's kind of shocked to me still that they just ran right down their throat the entire game. I think they threw 7 passes. Gosh, Sharon Moore, what are you doing? Amazing.
Now I will say this is, I looked at kind of through 4 games. When we talked to Bicard, he wanted 30 sacks this year, and he seems like this competition level's a little bit of a step up over what he was playing, and he's not had the best time this year. I think he's got 3 sacks. I think it was 10 tackles. And so, he hasn't done a ton. And for high school, those numbers are really small.
Yeah.
So, is it a situation to where the 3 stars were more accurate? I think there's a lot of us that saw stuff on the film, and a lot of this offer list looked good. But, at this point, going to USC, you just going to have to wonder, why that decision came like that. So,
we talk, in a way, think about it. Barry Alexander just basically quit. He's going to redshirt and be gone. So I guess they got a nice little influx of money, available money.
That's not how. That's not. He's hopefully he doesn't sign the same agent that UNLV guy had.
The one thing about NIL is that you still have to fulfill your portion of it.
Yeah. So that's USC didn't fix that stuff, in the middle of the season after getting ran through by Michigan. I don't think anybody who was tight with the money came up and was like, now I want to donate. But at the same time, this is why you get your own choice as a recruit. You get to do what you want to do, and you're not going to walk in and get early playing time on the defensive line right now. You would have to be an absolute top end, guaranteed 3 years and top 5 pick type of a guy to walk in next year to play.
Yeah, it's true.
To be a starter.
Yeah. And I guess the biggest question is going to be what was the parameters in his, NIL contract deal and how much stuff he needs to do. And he's most likely not going to fulfill any of it, especially if he decides to redshirt. So in that case, he's going to get paid. So that's another thing about all this deal is when you get them. That's the risk that you take on both sides. Is if you show up thinking you're going to get paid out the rest of the season and something doesn't happen. That's why I don't really enjoy. That's the part of the NIL is giving all the money up front when nothing's been done yet. How many times? Look right inside our own program. How many times does a 5-star show out and he's just not ready for it? Just like first round draft picks in the NFL, you don't draft first round quarterback up high and then just plan to sit them. That typically doesn't happen. So people want to see the big plays right away. Right.
And so if you are a 5-star guy and you were a 5-star guy, I mean, I'm a capitalist, so he was a 5-star. USC needed some defensive linemen. He was an ex-5-star. Why not pay the man his money? And but yeah, I mean, dude wasn't seeing the field, and he wasn't doing a lot. And just shout out to our boy Lincoln for being a jerk to the media yesterday, just to turn around and have it just kind of blow back up in his face today. So pretty freaking funny.
Dead smack in the eyeballs. It's one of those. Come on, man. You didn't have to be that way. Don't be that way. You didn't have to be that way. So it's kind of funny. At all. Think this is funny. What's these? Hold a second. Let me pull up a statistic that I wanted to wrap things up, put a bow on it for.
This is more data searching brought to you by Jay.
Yeah, always looking for stuff, man. Y'all know me. I'm pretty terrible when it comes to always looking for stuff.
Here's the thing that I will definitely say about, you're going to have guys, and I'm wondering how the NIL front continues to change around. You're going to have some players who, and Jason, you said it right. I mean, when you have family members who are part of the conversation with your NIL piece, you're seeing a lot of guys who literally don't have a clue about. Don't have a clue about business sense. Don't know how to deal with agency marketing. Don't have to know how to do anything like that. And when these guys get involved, I mean, sometimes it's not so that they can get paid. Sometimes it's just so that they can be right next to someone who's doing great things. And so that's just one of the things that I hope that great handling happens from the families, because you just can't. We can't see this continue to happen more and more and more, because we're going to miss out on potential generational talents because they're listening to the wrong people.
Yeah, you got to be careful who you're taking advice from. That's really where things go wrong for a lot of people. So, all right, anything else, Coop, you want to wrap up with? We're going to get up out of here. It's been an hour.
No, I mean,
no need to continue to sulk and be sad. Everybody's sad. I'm not sad.
No, it's like I said, you got the bye week coming up next week. We're going to have some, hopefully, like I said, hopefully we get some health going on, because I mean that's definitely needed, because right now the injuries are comical. So you run out your starting wide receivers this week. I thought somebody said it. I think that you're going to see, you're probably going to see Brennan Petaway and JJ Hester run out first, and you're going to see that group get out there. You're going to rotate in Kearney and carry on. Hopefully, get to see some Jacoby, to see what's going on there, and so we'll get to see what this offense looks like. I really do think that there's going to be. Oh, there we go. Little Midland Sooner. What's up, my man?
Midland Sooner, what's up?
Thank you for the $4.99, my friend.
I appreciate that.
But, Jacoby was an explosive player. I mean, he had double-digit touchdowns, 1,200 yards his senior year, and, he was a guy who both sides of the ball were chiming in and wanted him. So which wide receivers go out and do some blocking? That's the big thing I want to see, is communication from the offensive line and wide receivers blocking, because that's what's going to have to happen in order for you to get the pieces that are going to be there. Because, after watching a lot of the film, Jay, there were a lot of open throws. There were a lot of decisions that you make the other one, and it's a big gain, but you make the one that you did, and it's not good.
That was the biggest problem, is that there was a lot of openings there, but I'm really excited about seeing what Jacoby Johnson does as he makes his valiant return to the wide receiver room and shows off his athleticism. So they have pulling up again. Hit the like button, new to the channel, subscribe, rate, review. Give us 5s, and we are out. Y'all enjoy your evening. We will talk a lot more about the game on Sunday. Oh, yeah. We'll see how it goes. We'll chop it up later. Peace.